It was a quiet Sunday morning in Paris. The City of Lights was just waking up. Cafes were opening. Tourists were gathering at the Louvre, the most famous museum on Earth. But no one knew that just beyond those grand glass pyramids, a daring plan was already in motion. A heist that would leave the world speechless, and the French authorities scrambling for answers. This is the story of the Louvre Heist, Napoleon's missing crown jewels. Sunday, 9 a.m. The Louvre had just opened its doors to visitors. Families, photographers, and art lovers filled the grand halls, ready to see the Mona Lisa and the timeless treasures of French history. But while tourists admired the art, 4 men, dressed like maintenance workers, were quietly preparing something extraordinary. They drove up in a white delivery truck. Nothing unusual in the busy streets of Paris. But this was no delivery. Inside that truck was everything they needed for one of the boldest museum robberies in modern history. Witnesses say the men were calm, confident, almost too professional. They parked near the south wing of the Louvre, a lesser-used service entrance known for fewer guards and cameras. At around 9:30 a.m., just 30 minutes after opening, they began setting up a ladder and a mechanical basket lift against the museum wall. To onlookers, it looked routine, as if some workmen were fixing lights or cleaning windows. But in truth, it was the beginning of a perfectly timed operation. Their goal? The Napoleon-era crown jewels, a priceless set of diamonds, rubies, and gold ornaments once belonging to Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte himself. These jewels had survived revolutions, wars, and centuries of history. They symbolized power, legacy, and France's imperial past. Valued at over 50 million euros, they were displayed in a secured glass case inside the museum's Galerie d'Apollon, the same gallery that once housed the French crown jewels. To steal them in broad daylight seemed impossible. But these men had studied every detail. Inside the truck, surveillance footage later revealed the thieves had top-grade tools. Not crude hammers or cutters, but precision instruments. Around 9:35 a.m., they used a ladder to access a side service window, reportedly unlocked during cleaning hours. Within minutes, they were inside the Louvre. Cameras show them moving fast and efficiently, no running, no hesitation. They went straight for the display case, no detours. It was clear. This wasn't a random theft. They knew exactly what they were looking for. Louvre security was state-of-the-art, or so everyone thought. But that Sunday, a routine system reboot had temporarily taken a section of the camera network offline for maintenance. The thieves struck during that exact window. They used a small thermal cutter to slice open the bulletproof glass without setting off alarms, a method seen only in high-level heists. The jewels were gone in less than 4 minutes. At 9:40 a.m., just as calmly as they arrived, the men exited through the same window, climbed down the ladder, and loaded the artifacts into the white truck. Passers-by didn't think twice. It looked like maintenance equipment being packed up. Moments later, the truck drove away, merging into Paris morning traffic. It was that simple. When guards finally noticed the empty glass case around 10 a.m., the robbers were already miles away. Within hours, the Louvre went into lockdown. Tourists were evacuated, and French police flooded the area. Interpol was alerted. The French president himself was briefed on the situation. News spread like wildfire. Priceless crown jewels of Napoleon stolen from the Louvre in broad daylight. Reporters gathered outside, social media exploded, and the world demanded answers. But despite countless cameras around Paris, the thieves seemed to vanish into thin air. Investigators suspect the operation was months in the making. The use of a marked maintenance truck, the timing of the camera outage, and their precise knowledge of museum layouts all point to inside information. Some believe a former employee tipped them off. Others suspect an international art crime syndicate. The jewels themselves are likely untraceable now, broken down, recut, and sold on the black market. Art theft experts compare it to the legendary Isabella Stewart Gardner museum heist of 1990. But even bolder. The French public was furious. How could such a national treasure be stolen under the government's nose? Memes flooded the internet. Some joked it was Napoleon taking his jewels back. Others feared a bigger plot, a political distraction or a message from organized crime. Meanwhile, the Louvre's reputation took a hit. Security upgrades were promised immediately, with 24-hour surveillance, motion sensors, and international cooperation to recover the artifacts. Weeks later, police found the abandoned white truck in an underground parking lot in northern Paris. Inside, gloves, tools, and traces of glass dust from the display case. But no jewels. No fingerprints. No DNA. No suspects identified. Whoever these men were, they knew how to disappear. And to this day, the crown jewels of Napoleon remain missing. The Louvre Heist is a reminder that even in an age of high-tech surveillance, the perfect crime is still possible. Whether carried out by professional thieves, ex-soldiers, or insiders, one thing is certain: they planned every second of it. A cinematic robbery, executed in minutes, that humiliated one of the most secure museums on Earth. And somewhere out there, hidden in a vault or broken into pieces, lie the missing jewels of an emperor. This was the Louvre Heist, the day Napoleon's crown jewels vanished.